cooking guy, and you're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Some call him a fool, some even call him a douchebag. But I say Greg Rempe is the greatest thing to happen to barbecue since caveman.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the Really Big Barbecue Central Show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important to the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire, fun, and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show this evening can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you get the newsletter. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, we've had one of them on the show before, but I don't think we've had both, but maybe we have had both, and it's just been a long time since we've grouped them together. In what is the halfway point of a Major League Baseball season, with the game of the halfway point being played here this very evening, you would think perhaps these two would be inclined to decline an invitation to join the Really Big Barbecue Show. However, maybe this speaks volumes of where they find this particular baseball game in the importance of their everyday life. I am, of course, talking about the hosts of the Baseball and BBQ podcast. Len Aberman and Jeff Cohen will join the show in about 12 minutes from now. And we'll talk about the obligatory baseball stuff. We'll get a little nerdy on our favorite teams. We'll talk about first half events, pontificate on second half results, and maybe, just maybe, sprinkle in a little barbecue, but maybe not, because I talk barbecue and they talk barbecue, but we rarely talk baseball here on this show. So Len and Jeff coming up here shortly. Then 35 past the first hour. We missed him last month, but he's back and better than ever. The creator of CookoutNews.com's website, Wes Wright, rejoins the show. So we'll have a look back at the last 60 days of business, and we'll touch on only the most important stories to get you up and running and have an advanced view of what the next 30 days might look like in a live fire business sense. That'll bring a close to the first hour. And then we will move to the second hour, where we will find a third quarterly appearance from none other than the creator of Hardcore Carnivore and JessPryles.com, the aforementioned Jess Pryles. Wow, do we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and it will all culminate with a brand new Betwixt the Two, which I am going to run this time. Last time she was on 3 months ago, she turned the tables and ran the game on me. By the way, I'm currently 1-for-1 in that game that she hosts. Not nearly as prolific at winning as Jess Pryles when I host the game, but we'll see what she can do here this evening. She won last time I did it. That means 2 is a win streak, and we'll see if she can't hop on that streak. as we draw her segment to a close in the first hour. And then closing out the show, 35 past the second hour, or as we call it, the bullpen segment. None other than the freshly minted white coat wearer herself, / earner, by the way, Maddie Rempe. So we'll talk about what the white coat even means and what kind of school she's into and what she's going to be doing here for the next handful of months or close to a year or maybe a year and change, and get a whole recap of this past weekend. So looking forward to the middle daughter trotting down here to the dungeon and putting her in this very interview seat, which currently sits vacant but highly ready. So be prepared for that. And that's how the show is laying out here this evening. Len and Jeff from Baseball and BBQ coming up next, then Wes Wright from Cookout News closing the first hour, and then we dip in the second hour. A Jess Pryles and a Maddie Rempe will be rounding out that second hour. Don't forget you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikToks, the Snappy Snaps, and the LinkedIns, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. And we say good evening to those of you watching tonight through one of the video streaming platforms. Of course, you can watch on Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can also watch on YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we have a new YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody this, including all guests of the show. So be ready, all guests of the show. Would you pay $100,000 or more for an outdoor kitchen setup that included everything? And currently 80% of you are saying no. By the way, I am aligning with the 80% of you saying no. Wow, $100,000 or more. Again, if you're listening to the question, including everything, so structure, finishing, cookers, whatnot, $100,000. So we'll see how that poll question runs through 120 minutes. Results of the poll question from last week: did you eat a hot dog on July 4th? Shockingly, 60% of you said no. By the way, I was part of that 60%. Almost had one, didn't have one. And we start here this evening. I question where you folks are coming from most of the time, and in this latest instance, many of you took wide delight in David Gafford shooting down my take on Weber's pre-treated griddle plate being the best invention ever in the history of griddling. He shot it down quickly. He's like, no, that's definitely not it. He also took perhaps great delight in then regaling us with his thought on what will be the best thing to happen in the griddle market. And it's really technically, I mean, it is technically here yet, but from a mass audience and mass gained acceptance standpoint, it is not here yet. And that is the stainless steel griddle plate that he feels will be making quite the entrance through the course of the year and then going forward. But many of you writing in, Greg, here you are, week in and week out, whenever you can crowbar the Weber pre-treated or preseason griddle plate as being the best thing ever. You bully people into agreeing with you. We love that David Gafford was able to stand his ground and tell you nonsense. Weber's pre-treated griddle plate or preseason griddle plate is not the best. Is not.
Andrew, you are
not the best thing since griddling. Sorry. Look, I'll continue to disagree. I don't know where price point for said stainless steel griddle plate is even going to be entering the market at. On top of that, I don't know. I assume it's going to be at a premium. If you're going to be using stainless steel to cook on, you can't cheap out. It'll warp, it'll discolor, it'll look bad. It probably won't last incredibly long. Or it'll become an eyesore enough where you'll want to buy another one and then it becomes cost prohibitive. So in order to negate that, you're going to have to use a high-quality stainless steel. That's not cheap. And now we're running the fine line between, are you going to spend that money on something that you know you're going to get longevity out of? For our crowd, I would say the majority would say yes. But for the everyday ham and egger that might have now 2 cooking vessels on the back porch, deck, side patio, what have you, that's probably going to be a bit of a nut to swallow. And I don't know if the majority of the everyday live fire cooker is going to be willing to spend a premium on a stainless steel griddle plate when you can go out and buy what is a tried and true Blackstone type griddle plate, the rolled steel, and then go through the seasoning process and look at it and go, you know what, all things considered, this is much better than stainless steel anyway. I'm not trying to bolster my position in taking down David's take. I'm just saying, as it currently sits, it's hard to argue that Weber's preseason griddle plate isn't the best thing that happened to griddle. I'm really trying to chase down my best pally, Roger Daly, who is now the CEO of Weber, and talk to him about that. I'm sure he's got a hot take. Here's the good news. Len and Jeff, or Jeff and Len, are in the green room, and they're getting ready to do their thing here on the show. But before we do that, might as well tell you about the aforementioned Pits and Spits. Because if you're serious about your grilling game, you need to check out the latest offerings. Let's kick things off with the Pits and Spits griddle. This griddle top combines the power of a traditional grill with the versatility of a flat-top griddle engineered with precision and crafted from top-quality materials. This versatile griddle is set to revolutionize your outdoor cooking experience. Constructed of 304 marine-grade stainless steel, a fully welded design, the griddle comes with 4 burners to accurately manage your heat zones and gets blistering hot with 80,000 BTUs. Made with stainless steel signature quality of Pits and Spits, the griddle designed to last for generations. Now, for those of you building an ultimate outdoor kitchen, you have to check out the built-in pellet grill. Designed for the discerning grill master who demands top-tier performance, this grill is the centerpiece of any serious outdoor kitchen. From low and slow smoking to high-heat searing, this grill can handle it all. Brisket, ribs, pizzas, veggies, you name it, this grill can cook it. And with the Pits and Spits legendary craftsmanship, you can be confident it's built to last with stainless steel construction and a design that's as reliable as it is versatile. So, are you ready to take your cooking to the next level? Head on over to the website pitsandspits.com/BBQ Central and use promo code BBQ Central for a free spice pack with orders over $500 or more. That's pitsandspits.com, all spelled out, PITTSANDSPITTS, or as we say, the double T on the Pits and the Spits /BBQ Central, and then use promo code BBQ Central for a free spice pack with orders over $500. We're back to talk baseball and maybe barbecue with Len and Jeff. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard, makers of Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, Fireboard Spark, the Fireboard Beacon, and the new wireless Fireboard Pulse. When you use the Fireboard app, you have total access to all devices anywhere in the world if they're hooked up to your local area network. Find out more by visiting fireboard.com or call 816-945-2232 today. Great folks over at Fireboard. Leading off the show tonight are 2 guys who actually appreciate the words I just used to begin the intro leading off. They are co-hosts of a podcast that will soon be celebrating its 300th episode coming up this weekend. If you are a fan of barbecue, then perhaps you have listened to their show. If you're a fan of baseball, then perhaps you know and listen to their show. And if you're a fan of baseball and barbecue, then surely you know all about this show. Let's welcome the hosts of the Baseball and BBQ podcast, Len Aberman and Jeff Cohen, to the show. Gents, appreciate you joining the really big show here this evening. Before we get into it, we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests. Len, we'll start with you since you're top right to me. Would you pay $100,000 or more for an outdoor kitchen setup that included everything?
Greg, I put the limit at $99,999.
Yes, Bob
I will
Barker.
not go a penny over.
No, we will not do
no,
that.
I would not.
Jeff, your thoughts?
It depends on where I will live out my retirement days. If I did it here in New York, no way.
No.
Now, if I had an extra $100,000 running around, maybe in Arizona I'd do that because it's hot as hell in Arizona.
Yes.
And an outdoor kitchen wouldn't be too bad.
All right. We'll stay with you staying in New York, and it's 2 more no's, although it seems like Len was only $1 off. 83% of the YouTube voting public is agreeing with us. No, we are not spending $100,000 more on an outdoor kitchen. As I mentioned in the open, guys, this coming weekend, the Baseball and BBQ podcast is releasing its 300th episode, a lifetime achievement in the world of podcasting for those people that don't know it. Len, let's start with you. Your thoughts on hitting this milestone?
I never dreamed that we'd get to 300. We've been doing this now. We're in our 8th year, and it's just it really is, when you look at it, it's just an amazing accomplishment to do it week in and week out, and because you are the best, and actually you are one of the reasons that we're getting to 300 with an audience. So we thank you for that, but very excited to get to 300, and can't wait to tell you who we're going to have on too.
Jeff, thoughts on 300?
Yeah, it's an amazing feat. I mean, and we still like each other, so that's a good thing, right? What we've done is just we didn't know what we were doing, and we built it to a really good show, I think. And the people we got to meet along the way, the events we go to. I mean, we go to the National Barbecue Festival that was here. We go to other barbecue events. We go to baseball events. We go to New York Baseball's Hall of Fame every year, which is a great event up in Troy, New York. And we can't believe how we grew this.
Len, the one thing that stands out most to you that's happened on your show is what?
The people, the friendships that we've made.
Jeff, one thing that stands out to you?
It stands out. I think our trip to Kansas City for our 200th episode. We planned that so far in advance, and we actually got on a plane and we got to Kansas City. Went to see a Royals game. Went to the couple of barbecue joints, Jack Stack, and we met Bob Kendrick, our very first guest at the Negro Leagues Museum. So it was just a great trip that we went on.
Jeff, let's stay with you. The one thing that you most admire about Len is what?
I got to think about that. He's a good person. I mean, he's a good heart. That's why I admired him the most. He really is. He'll do anything for you, and he just has a good heart.
Len, the one thing you admire most about Jeff is?
I'm crying. I can't. There's so many. I've said it over and over. If it wasn't for Jeff, and when they say people are anal, that sometimes they don't take that in a good way, but with Jeff, it is a fantastic way because he keeps the show together. I admire his organization skills and his he's relentless and
that might piss Len off a little bit sometimes.
but it's great for the show. And as Jeff said, his friendship. I mean, when you have Jeff as a friend, you need something. There is never a doubt, except money. Don't ask him for money.
I agree.
That tight on money.
Yeah. Don't ask me for money either.
That could end the friendship. But other than that,
So here we are at the literal All-Star break tonight, and I wonder if this doesn't signify how much perhaps you guys dislike an All-Star game, where you would show up on my show versus watching the game itself. Jeff, do you hate the All-Star game?
I used to love the All-Star game, but since they went to interleague play and the players now go interchangeably between free agency, it's not special anymore. So when I was a kid, and I used to go to a camp and didn't have any television, we used to gather around a tree and sit down in the grass and just listen to the radio to the All-Star game. I mean, that was a highlight of the summer. But now it lost all meaning. So it's just another game.
Len, just another game for you?
No, I like the All-Star game, and after we're done recording, I'll go and I'll watch it. It's still exciting to see the guys play, the stars. I used to, as a kid, though, root for a team that was very bad at the time, and it was the New York Mets. But I still was excited to see that one player that was wearing a Mets uniform. Because there has to be one player from each team, and I would be excited, even though that player may not have gotten in the game. I could still watch him on the bench. So, but I still enjoy the All-Star game.
Generally speaking, Len, your thoughts on the first half of this baseball season so far?
It's been an exciting season. You've got some teams that you didn't expect to be where they are. Didn't expect the Houston Astros to get as far as they've gotten. Certainly did not expect to have this race in the East between the Mets and the Phillies, and did not expect the Toronto Blue Jays to be giving the Yankees a fight. Kind of expected the Dodgers to be running away with it, and they're not. And the Central in the American League Central, with the four teams, didn't expect to have such a big gap between teams. Yeah, it's definitely been an exciting first half. It's actually more than a half. We're actually over 90 games in already.
Jeff, your thoughts on the first half of the season overall?
Well, being a Mets fan, it's been a roller coaster ride. I mean, they were doing so well in the beginning, and then they had the June swoon that we like to call it, and they lost like 14 out of 17 games. Then we fell out of first place, and now we're a half game back, but we're still right in it. But like Len said, things unexpected. Like I said, the Toronto Blue Jays in first place. The Detroit Tigers are running away with the American League Central. And if you excuse me 1 second, got to put on my Cleveland hat here.
You can get arrested for wearing that hat.
I know. So I'm here in New York. But Cleveland, I thought they would do a lot better. I mean, they're right in the wild card. They're only 4 games out of the wild card, but 3 games below 500. I thought they'd be better, and I'm rooting for the Cleveland Indians. I'm sorry,
Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah,
I'm still saying the old name.
It doesn't matter. So do you think from a Guardians standpoint, I don't want to make this a Guardians thing here, but let's do it for 30 seconds. If you look back at the success they had last year, Stephen Vogt got a lot of adulation and like coach of the year, whatever, for getting the Indians into the ALCS last year. I said Indians, I meant Guardians. And then this year, a lot of shitting of the bed, a lot of injury again, but there appears to be what a lot of people would consider to be an underperforming Guardians team this year all of a sudden if you're comparing it to last season. Is it better to chalk up last season as more of a fluke and what we're seeing this season was really the Guardians, or do you feel they are underperforming?
I think they're underperforming because they've been so good for the last half dozen years or so. And they've really been right in it. They've been a consistent playoff team, and they still have a chance this year. But I think just a little underperforming, and the Tigers just running away with it. I mean, I'm looking at the stats. Cleveland, they're near the bottom in batting average, near the bottom in slugging, and so they got to improve that.
100% yes or 100% no. Jeff, Stephen Vogt, overrated.
Ooh. No, not overrated.
Right, Len, 100% yes or 100% no. Stephen Vogt, overrated.
Not overrated.
Not overrated.
You think he is?
Len, It's my show. 100% yes or 100% no? You'd rather have Terry Francona over Stephen Vogt.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeff?
Yes.
Yes. All right. 2 yeses. All right.
Yeah,
Yes,
he just
that's
got his 2000s victory as a Reds manager. I think he's won about 50 games with the Reds, but yeah, Terry Francona is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you are both unadulterated. I'm sorry. Let me circle back here. Did you have a thought on the Guardians' underperformance or fluke of last year, Len?
I don't think that. Well, they're definitely underperforming, and yes, like Jeff said, they've been good for several years now. I'm more wondering now, as you being in Cleveland, do you want them to be sellers at the trade deadline or buyers?
I don't know how much we have to sell short of Jose Ramirez. I mean,
Right.
Who else do you want?
You're not getting
Angel
rid of Stephen
Martinez.
Kwan.
Angel Martinez is a up and coming prospect who has been playing full time this year. He's been maybe our second or third best hitter. So it's probably Ramirez, Kwan, and then Martinez. But outside of that, like, who do you want? You name a hurt pitcher that sucks, you can have them. I don't think I've heard scuttlebutt of a Jose Ramirez trade. I don't know exactly how that's going to pull it off, and I don't believe that that's the case. And certainly you're not going to trade Kwani because he's your best hitter from a general speaking leadoff sense as well. So everybody else is expendable. So sell them all you want. I don't know how much we're even going to get back. If you're going to trade so we can – if the trades make lateral moves, then just keep what you got and hope they decide to get better in the second half. It's in Cleveland. They are a disappointment, to say the least, because Cleveland believes that one good season means that next year is a world championship, and anything short is a disappointment. Just as the Browns, just as the Cavs, and now we're running with the Guardians in that aspect. All right, but let's turn it on you guys here, since you're the guest. Both are unadulterated Met fans, as we could hear as you guys were talking. So aside from the June swoon, give me a report card grade for the Mets so far, Jeff.
Well, I think, believe it or not, I think Juan Soto has underperformed. I mean, he's one of the great hitters, and he should have been to the All-Star game. But because of all the expectations that were expected out of him, he's really not hitting with runners in scoring position. He's hitting home runs when they're already ahead, or so. He's really got to. We haven't embraced him yet, and I think we really want to. Lindor is just fantastic. He started the All-Star game tonight. First time as an All-Star for a Met. He's been here 5 years, so we're very happy for Lindor. And Pete Alonso, he's having a comeback season. I think he is doing really well, and if he can just cut down on the strikeouts, he's gonna get paid next year. I know that.
Jeff or Len, you're great.
So, Greg, just one question. Lindor came up. Are you sorry yet that he's a Met now and not a Guardian?
He's trash. Trash.
So you don't want him back?
Give me Gabriel Arias all day long, or Daniel Schneemann. Lindor, get out. Beat it.
All right. Well, we thank you for your gift.
You're welcome.
He is a great Met. I can't believe that this is his first All-Star game as a Met. But yeah, as far as the team, I think that the Mets have underperformed. They don't hit with runners in scoring position. Their pitching, yes, their pitching was carrying them at one point, but it's not championship caliber level pitching. Maybe they get a couple of guys back, like Manaeus back, Kodai Senga. Maybe they'll get back up there. I still think they need to make a trade. I don't know who's out there, but at this level, yeah, they're underperforming. They need a little help.
And they're only a half game out of first place.
So the June swoon that you mentioned, indicative of a bigger problem or just a hiccup in the road, and second half they're going to be steamrolling?
Well, I don't know if they're going to be steamrolling, but they always go through a June swoon type of place like that. They did it last year in May, but this year it was in June. Yeah, it was a May swoon. But no, they're going to have a tough road. It's going to be a tough the rest of the season because the Phillies aren't going anywhere. The Braves are done. We thank God for the Braves. They always give us trouble, and we'll always lose to the Braves. I mean, I know we play them next week, but we're always going to lose to the Braves. But the Phillies are not going away, and that's our main competition right now. And it's just one gets in the playoffs. You never know what's going to happen. Look, last year they snuck into the playoffs. They got within 2 games of the World Series.
Len, do the Mets make the playoffs this year?
Oh yeah, the Mets will make the playoffs. It's just not sure they're going to win the division. They'll make it as a wild card.
Jeff?
If they didn't, it'd be a huge disappointment.
All right.
Yes, it'll be a huge disappointment.
Jeff, do the Mets win the World Series?
That's a crapshoot. It's like a tournament now. You have to get hot at the right time. It's like the NCAA tournament. You have to get hot at the right time. Will they win the World Series? Who knows?
Len, the Mets will win the World Series? No.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Wow.
I did not drink it. And no, the Mets are not winning the World Series this year. No.
Jeff, have you bought into the value that starting a runner at second base in extra innings is the right decision?
No, I have not. I'm a traditionalist. I will not buy into that ever.
Wow.
But I understand why they do it. Because the pitchers can't, they don't pitch very long anymore, and you'll run out of, I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Len?
No, I'm not a fan of that. The runner, no. I know you like it. You like all these crazy rules. No, I'm sorry. No.
I don't think they do it because of the pitching. I think you're in potentially for a whole another 6, 7, 8, 9 innings, and people want to go barely to see 9 innings, and they don't want to see 16 innings or 17 innings. And oh, by the way, it's pretty exciting in the 10th inning when somebody's already at second base. And there's a good chance that game is going to end within an inning or two. Has stretched out a little bit here and there. But it adds a whole new level of excitement, and that's what we need in baseball, excitement and a reason for new watchers to get on board.
It does add new strategy there.
Yes.
It definitely does. Don't like it, but it definitely does.
Here we go. Last 100% assurity question. Jeff, we'll start with you. The 100% yes, 100% no. The sheer inability of any Major League Baseball player to lay down a bunt with any type of consistency is, in a word, tragic.
Yes. 100% yes.
Len?
I didn't even know that bunting was still part of the game. What are you talking about? Absolutely.
Jeff, how do we fix this?
That's a good question. I think we need new leadership on both the commissioner side and the Players Association side. I mean, they're just fighting for the last dollar, which I get. That's what capitalism is. But they're not doing anything good for the game. I mean, pitchers are getting hurt all the time. You see here Tommy John surgery constantly, and it's not going away. They're chasing velocity when they should be chasing wins.
Len, if you were a hitter and the bunt sign was put on for you, I mean, we all know, we see these guys square around or square up, and it's 9 times out of 10, that ball's a pop-up out, which I can't believe. It just boggles my mind. If you were making that kind of money, would you not hire some bunting coach off season and become one of the most dependable and prolific bunters going? You could be easily known as the best bunter in the modern era if you would only take a little initiative.
The best bunters don't make hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm sorry. They just,
Yes.
If I can just jump in here for
Please.
a second.
Yes.
You know the difference between a 250 hitter and a 300 hitter? 1 hit a week, and that could just be a bunt.
Yes. I agree. It's sad. The Guardians were playing the White Sox here before the end of the first half of the season, and there were 3 or 4 times in one game when the Guardians attempted to bunt, and 1 out of 4, that's 25%, ability to lay down a bunt. 3 times were in instances where they needed to have the bunts down to either try and safety squeeze a run in or move a runner over to from second to third, and they couldn't do it. And more than that, it's ugly. It's not like it was close and they got an out. It wasn't even close, and it was ugly. And I throw my hands up and go, what is going on here? But I guess you're right. Len, nobody wants to see a bunt. They just want to see somebody stand up there and swing for the fence. And if you strike out 180 times during the year, God bless.
bunting is not sexy. Nobody goes in and, to see someone bunt. They go to see Aaron Judge hit home runs. They see Cal Raleigh hit home runs. They want to, it's not the bunting derby. It's the home run derby. The long ball. Chicks dig the long ball.
Sounds weird in a vacuum. Jeff, who's on the 300th episode?
We have, from the barbecue side, we have the great Mo Kason and Bob Trudnak.
Oh.
And Len, who's the other guest?
Can I just say that it's Mo Kason and Bob Trudnak sitting down in a conversation like I've never heard them before. They are just so good together. And our baseball guest is going to be interesting. It's David Wild. And David Wild, you may have recognized David Wild, Greg, because he was actually on the Howard Stern show. When Hall and Oates were having their fallout, David Wild came on to discuss it. David Wild is one of the people that wrote the first articles on Howard Stern for Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh, wow.
But David Wild, Rolling Stone, he writes for the Grammys, the Country Music Awards. He does a podcast with Phil Rosenthal of Somebody Feed Phil and Everybody Loves Raymond fame called Naked Lunch. And he's a huge baseball fan. Was a Mets fan, now a Dodgers fan. So he comes on, we talk music, we talk some food, we talk baseball. It's a pretty exciting 300th episode.
Look forward to that. That's going to be released this coming weekend, so make sure you subscribe to the podcast feed if you don't already, although I know most of my fans do. This is Jeff Cohen and Len Aberman, the hosts of the Baseball and BBQ podcast. Guys, again, congratulations on 300 episodes, and thank you so much for coming on here tonight. We wish you continued success, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Greg.
There they are. The two best hosts to talk both baseball and barbecue at the same time, Len Aberman and Jeff Cohen. Subscribe. I would say you'll be pleasantly surprised, but that's kind of a put down. You will be impressed, for sure. These guys do the homework, they ask great questions, and they get some really great guests. I think one of my favorites still is the interview with Bobby Valentine. It's an incredible interview. At least 2 or 3 times during the interview, Bobby V said, that's a great question. Like, hey, these guys aren't some jamokes. They came prepared. Good for them. All right, Wes Wright is in the green room. We'll get to him here in just 1 second. Before we do that, we'll talk about Primo Grills. I was just on the Instagram before the show started, and I saw somebody post a really great-looking wood table that's holding a pair of Primo Extra Larges. I have no idea what that cost, but boy, did it look good showcasing those very attractive Primo cookers. They're only sold in a dealer network, so you have to go see it in person. Find a dealer near you, primogrill.com. And then once you find the dealer near you, visit them, touch them, feel them, all those different size ovals. And then pick the one that best fits your budget and needs. I recommend extra large every week because I think that works best for the most folks. But they do have an XXL, which I believe is 25% bigger on the grill space than the XL. So if you need a little extra size, then the double XL is where you want to go. It's got a whole bunch of accessories that you're going to love because we all love accessories. And you have the ability to execute a 2-zone setup when it comes to fire because it's an oval. You have a divider you can put in, and now you literally have coals on this side. You have nothing on the other side, so you can put the meat wherever you want it. Get the heat deflectors, too. Those things are great. Use them all the time. All right, we're back with Wes Wright from cookoutnews.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
And we thank Len and Jeff from the Baseball and BBQ podcast for joining us last segment. This portion of the show being brought to you by Pit Barrel Cooker. Most unbelievable outdoor cooking device on the planet. Available in 3 sizes, a host of accessories. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a professional. It's a cooker you want to add to the arsenal, especially in that upright barrel category. Visit pitbarrelcooker.com and tell them the Barbecue Central Show sent you. My next guest tonight runs cookoutnews.com, and he is here for yet another monthly visit in 2025. He is a Barbecue Central Show's Guest Hall of Fame nominee, Wes Wright. Wes, appreciate you joining us. Missed you last month, but happy to have you back here in July. We have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests, and it's simply this. Would you pay $100,000 or more for an outdoor kitchen setup that included everything?
No, that's a little rich for me.
81% of the YouTube voting public is saying no. They are not paying $100,000 or more. Although I talked with David Gafford last week, and I had gotten some subsequent email after that segment from folks around the country who said, hey, he quoted you that $100,000 price tag for his home outdoor cooking kitchen that they ended up doing 80% or 90% of the work themselves to save all that money. But he was quoted $100,000 or so for an outdoor kitchen just for his home. And I nearly fainted. But then subsequently nearly fainted 3 or 4 more times as these other emails came in. Of like, I don't know what you think is going on, but $100,000, perfectly reasonable. What do you think a perfectly reasonable outdoor kitchen quote is?
I think for me, it's like, I don't know, 30 to 50 in my head is where I think is like the sweet spot.
Wow.
For like a pretty nice outdoor kitchen setup. Where are you at?
I fear I'm a cheap ass. I'm like 10 grand tops. Like tops. Even then but I'm also, I don't want to spend money on a car guy, and I'll spend money on dumb stuff, but like on cars and evidently outdoor kitchens, I mean, I couldn't possibly see spending any more. Like 10 grand would be under protest.
Yeah, I just think about how much it costs to redo like your kitchen in your house, and outside you might have an expensive grill, more expensive than your appliances, and get a few appliances out there. It adds up.
You've looked into outdoor kitchens or dealt with products that are involved with outdoor kitchens before. I mean, that's part of the industry here. Have you noticed that grills and cookers that go into those are just substantially more expensive than you would find in the normal retail outlets?
Yeah, definitely. It seems like there's been a continued push that I feel like hasn't completely taken off towards outdoor kitchens. And I mean, you can drop, some just normal, I'll call them grills, into outdoor kitchens that, work well, but they might not look fantastic. But I feel like any grill, most of them are gas, but I have like a pellet grill that I guess you could build into an outdoor kitchen, but the entry point's like $3,000 and up, and $3,000's pretty cheap for an outdoor kitchen grill.
All right, so let's talk about some business that's transpired here over the last handful of weeks and or month or so. First off, Solo, who we know not too long ago had been delisted because their stock was trading at negative $4.78 at one point. That's a joke, by the way. Relisted and trading under a new name. What's the news about that?
Yeah, they've gone through quite a transformation, and we'll talk about it. I'm curious if you're buying it too for the future, but they had a new CEO come in after the other CEO stepped down, and when they said that they couldn't meet their debt requirements going forward, the stock plummeted under $1. Then the tariffs were announced and it plummeted under 10 cents where it was delisted. And so but since then, they said they're going to release 5 new outdoor products this year, or new innovations as they call them this year. So they released that cooler, that, outdoor air conditioner.
Icy Breeze.
Yep. Then they came out with a new griddle, which is actually pretty neat. It's has a stainless, it's like oval shaped, has a stainless steel kind of all clad, even though I know it's trademarked, but all clad surface that, it's a neat griddle. They appealed their delisting, and they did a 40-to-1 reverse stock split. So it means for every 40 shares, you get 1 share. So it makes your price go up on the stocks. So they were successfully relisted, but there's still some requirements they have to meet over the next month and a half to stay listed. But I mean, it seems like they're, out there fighting. They redid their debt too, so they're not out of compliance with that anymore. And then I've been seeing a lot of patents for them too. So like one I wrote about is they're going to come out with some outdoor furniture, both like chairs and tables that you can put them together by just snapping them together. There's, all through, like slide, like interfaces that go together that look, structurally sound. They require no tools. They
Like
have a
that
trademark.
that Thuma thing? The Thuma
I haven't
bed
seen
frame.
that.
Have you seen that?
My bread frame's kind of like that though too. It just kind of snaps together.
They just
I don't know.
kind of fall into each other. They set
Yeah.
in one another. Yeah.
Yes. So that's, I see coming out this year. They have a trademark for an outdoor greenhouse, which that one I feel like is out of left field, but could be kind of interesting for all the gardeners out there. And then they're also supposed to come out with a new, well, not supposed to. There's a patent for a new smokeless fire pit that's supposed to make more heat go out laterally to keep your legs warm. So we'll see if that comes out. And one, I haven't even written about it yet, but they've also a patent for an outdoor fire place too. So I expect that to come out this year.
What does an outdoor fireplace look like compared to a fire pit?
It's like if you took like a big canister and cut out the side of it rather than a heat going straight up, you can see it from the side. So it's like an outdoor, it's a little outdoor fireplace. It looks kind of neat if you look at the photos.
Have you had any experience with the griddle? Like that's the one thing that I guess I'm most interested in because it is a stainless steel griddle top. Dave Gafford from the Barbecue Lab said he thought that stainless steel griddle tops were going to be all the rage here for the balance of the year and then going forward.
I haven't, seen it in person, but it looks neat from, what I can read and the photos and the way that it's different types of metal all together to form it. So it's not just pure stainless steel. They also have like other layers to it. So that way it's supposed to make your heat spread out more evenly and also quicker. It looks like a pretty cool design. And I appreciate that they did something a little different where, a lot of brands, they will just, get a whatever griddle rectangle 4-burner, slap their name on it and call it good. This one looks like it has some design behind it. So I can completely appreciate that.
Do you have any thought that we're going to see whatever version of Solo get delisted again here within the next year or less?
You never know what'll happen with tariffs because they had a lot of exposure to that where they made like all their fire pits in China. So they're very susceptible to that too. I think they'll get relisted though, based on their price. That they're trading, they're at like $14 now after their 40-to-1 reverse split. So I think, they should be able to keep it up. It seems, from my perspective, I like, they kind of built their brand by releasing a bunch of new products and, that would keep people buying it. It also helps with cost increases because you can reset the price point. But, I think what they're doing this year compared to the only thing I can even remember they released last year was like a little stand for their fire pit. So that way you could grill off of it. That's the only product I remember them releasing last year. So I think they're, doing much better this year in terms of that. But, are you buying it? You think they have a good future or more of the same?
Most of me feels like it's going to be more of the same, but I could be wrong. So proof is in the pudding, right? I mean, you gotta show up and you gotta make me believe that the changes are real and that the products aren't gimmicky enough where only a small percentage of people actually buy them and the majority of people go, oh yeah, I might, but in the end they don't really buy them. That's not helping anybody. So we'll see how it goes from here, but I'm not a buyer yet, but I could change my mind. Coyote Pellet Grill, you've done a review and you think that gas grills should be scared. Why?
I really liked what they did with that one. That's that's a grill that they built for outdoor kitchens. So it has a nice design that uh kind of like how you'll see on like some pit boss grills, but kind of where they have like that open flame
Mm.
feature. This one you can swap out like the heat deflector, and they have like an open flame from that, but also just the grill itself. Even when you're not on open flame grilling, it'll get up to 650 degrees, which is that's pretty nice. And then the all the grill grates are laser cut stainless. I love stainless steel cooking grates personally, just with how they sear. So like even without the open flame thing, which some people think it's gimmicky, your results may vary. But if you're at 650 with stainless steel grates, you can get some good searing on it. I was impressed with how well it performed on that front.
Cost of operation, though, isn't it more expensive than a gas grill?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'd say it's pretty well insulated, at least. Has an insulated lid and things like that, so it's a little more efficient than some other designs. But yeah, I mean, you're sacrificing cost for flavor, I guess, with that. But one thing I forgot to mention last time was, have you seen that Rectech? I want to call it Crossfire or X-Fire. Have
No.
you seen that?
No.
Well, kind of like with their griddle that we've talked about, they're like the leaders in just scorching pellets. They have that that Rectech. I want to say it's called a Crossfire or X-Fire, something like that. But it has two burn pots in the cook chamber at the
Wow.
same time, and it's kind of a same thing that I just mentioned with the Coyote, where one side's like for searing with the open flame and the other side's for grilling. But I'm just curious, two cooking pots at the same time, like,
Wow.
that's that's burning through.
That's a lot of pellets. All Clad is joining the pizza oven game. You're a fan of All Clad, according to the review. What did you like about it?
I like that it had a lot of power. It seemed to retain heat really well, almost to the point that there was a little bit of a learning curve. I had to back off some of that heat because when I first was cooking pizza ovens, I was just completely scorching the crust on the bottom. It has a rotating stone, which has been done before, but it was just a well designed oven, and especially for like All Clad fans, it worked well. There are no complaints. And the pizza oven space too, like, it's what separates the bottom from the top, I would say, isn't a lot, to be honest with you. So I feel like you can cook a good pizza with most ovens.
Are you bullish on the pizza cooker market still?
I think it's pretty well saturated. I think there's some incremental gains there as it continues to grow, but I think like the companies that are in it are fighting for share as opposed to leading the way with just a giant growing market like it was a few years ago.
What about the griddle market?
I kind of feel the same way with
okay.
that. I don't know. Both, to me, like, fad isn't the right word, because I would imply that like people are getting over it, but it's just, I don't think it's, people are as excited about getting into it anymore. But I think that also is the sentiment with overall consumer purchases and grilling. It's just the consumers aren't buying a lot right now, I don't think. So that's not really helpful for any of those more growth categories.
Lastly, Masterbuilt, known for making cookers of various forms and fashions, especially that Masterbuilt gravity-fed cooker that a lot of people are fans of. They're getting into the smokeless fire pit game. What's different about their smokeless fire pit?
Yeah, they have a patent out there. We'll see if it comes out, but what they wanted to do, kind of like what I said Solo Stove was trying to do with getting more heat lower down, is they made a fire pit that the air intake is at the top of it, but it's a smokeless fire pit. So the intake comes just under like the lip under the top, and then it goes underneath inside and then works just like a normal smokeless fire pit. It's almost like they took like a Solo Stove and put it inside of another fire pit. So they mentioned in the patent that you could even like bury it somewhat, so that way your fire pit's lower to give you heat lower down. So I don't know if they'll come out with it. I just thought it was interesting because they're so focused on those gravity cookers to then also, say, oh, by the way, we're thinking about making a smokeless fire pit.
So we talked about if the griddle market is saturated or not. We talked about if the pizza oven market is saturated or not. What about the smokeless fire pit sector? Saturated?
Yeah, it's in
my
opinion,
have been
it's
saturated with like two makers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many different smokeless fire pits. I feel like there's so many white labeled ones, or you go to any hardware store, you'll find random brands that all kind of look like the ones that are on the market. A big part of that too is the companies that came out with them. I don't think they were ready to defend all their intellectual property there, and so much, just junk started flowing into into the system that I think it's saturated too, in that it's not growing fast, and so you're fighting for market share at this point.
Between all of these, I'm going to opt for, as I just said, I was a cheapskate a handful of minutes ago. I'm going to spend the money and buy the timber stove pellet heater over any smokeless outdoor fire pit 100 times out of 100 times. Yes, I forget which one I got in the backyard, the big timber or whatever the hell it's called. One of the bigger options, and it's supposed to be able to, so outside of wind, on a night like tonight where it's, 67 degrees, 75 degrees, whatever it is. So you don't want, you're not running it for heat necessarily, but ambiance, it's short, and maybe there's a little bit of a breeze, might a little chill in the air. That thing pumps out within a 10-foot radius when you have that thing running like a monster. And you got heat from top to bottom because of how it's set up. So got all kinds of crazy nice stainless steel on it. You got to make sure you do wipe it down with that pad that they give you before you light the first one. Otherwise, like an idiot, you have your handprints all over it and they burn right in during the first fire, because that's what I did because I don't read all the directions. But outside of that, this thing is the best, and it's built like a tank. It's stayed out totally uncovered in numerous winters. I think I've had it for 3 years or 4 years now. So I'm saying if you're in the market for any of this, spend the $1,300 and get this one and never look back. Buy the best and only cry once is what we say in the barbecue market.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Smokeless fire pits don't put out a lot of heat, and those pellet, outdoor pellet stoves work a lot better. What does the pellet consumption look like on those? Do you know how much you burn in an hour?
Yeah, so you got a 20-pound hopper on the back of it, and once you start it, you get roughly 2.5 hours out of 20 pounds. So,
okay,
it's wide open. There's no real way to adjust the temperature necessarily. You do have a wheel spinner in the front. So if you really want to ramp the heat up, you close that front spinner all the way. You can literally see the flames, rise.
Oh, really?
When the spinner's open, they're doing a lot more of a tornadic type of a burn pattern. But as soon as you close it up, it's like you're stoking a wood fire in your home if you have one of those. And man, the heat just pumps out at that point. And fuel consumption probably dies a little bit too, but
yeah.
The heat is kicked up substantially. So they're just great. But the difference between that and having two burn pots in your Rectech is you're using cooking grade wood pellets in the Rectech. Right. And I'm going to Menards and buying a 50-pound bag for $4 on home heating pellets because nobody's eating anything. You just need something to burn.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else coming up before we let you go here tonight, Wes?
Yeah, one other patent that I saw
right.
that I haven't written about.
Yes.
This one's from Pit Boss. It would appear to be a Kamado cooker that is self-controlled, that it reads temperature and actuates the exhaust on the top and the intake to control your temperature. I just thought it was interesting because, it's a Kamado from Pit Boss. I wouldn't expect that.
Was there any mention of a name Smobot?
I didn't see that in the patent. I'll go back and double check though. What's Smobot? I haven't heard that.
Smobot is a automatic temperature control system that is made specifically for Kamado style cookers, and you put the probe in the cooker, and then think you have to take the top chimney off, and there's something you have to do with your chimney, whether it's a Big Green Egg, Primo, whatever. And then it feathers the damper on the top exhaust, open or closed to get you to that specific target temperature that you're looking for. No power draft at all, like all the rest of them have, which I'm a believer in, by the way. And this does it just by feathering the top exhaust cap. It's the only one I've ever seen like that. I don't know anybody that actually has it. I think the guy in Canada that tests everything had it like in the middle of the pack when he was testing it against everything else. But that's the only thing I've ever heard that controls the top damper.
That's interesting. Yeah, it sounds just like it. I wonder if there's an affiliation or they're required or anything like that. I'll have to look into that.
Maybe a shared technology. We're talking with Wes Wright from cookoutnews.com. Wes, always appreciate the time, and we will see you in August.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Greg.
You got it. And great to have Wes back after missing him last month, so getting caught up on a whole bunch of stuff. So according to Wes, Pizza Oven Market saturated as well as Griddle. Steven Reichland said Griddle Market just beginning to take foothold, signaling there could be a lot of growth. All right, we're into the second hour already. So let me quickly get out here, wrap up the first hour, and then we'll do an abridged second hour top. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we thank Wes Wright for joining us last segment. Cookoutnews.com is his website. And we are ready to wrap the first hour here. If you missed it, we'll do a little reset here in a few moments. But don't worry, we are recording as well for tomorrow. You are listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show right here in the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Happy to have you aboard here for the really big barbecue show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Hit me!
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
Boing.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
He ate 2 feet for wiener.
Now listen, Lavernius, shut your face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
And just like that, we are into the second hour. It is the Barbecue Central Show, and we talk about only the most important things in the barbecue and grilling world. If you missed the first hour, shame on you. Good news, we are recording audibly and videoably. First hour of this show will be available tomorrow morning early. The second hour on Thursday, also early morning. And we'll talk about Friday here in just a moment. Still to come on this show this evening in about 11 minutes from now, Jess Pryles from JessPryles.com and HardcoreCarnivore.com. And then closing out the show, Maddie Rempe, an all-woman power hour here in the second hour. Love that. By the way, Barbecue Central Show is coming to you live and direct from
Palm City, USA, Cleveland.
And we say good evening to those of you watching this show tonight through one of our video streaming platforms. You can go to Facebook.com/BBQ Central Show, or you can watch over on YouTube, which is YouTube.com/@BBQ Central Show, where we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody. Would you pay $100,000 or more for an outdoor kitchen setup that included everything Currently, 85% of you are saying no, you will not do that. Every guest, including myself, I'm not a guest, I'm a host, has said no. By the way, guest numbering 3 so far, if you count in the first interview segment tonight, I technically had 2 guests. I had a Jeff Cohen and a Len Aberman from Baseball and BBQ. So currently we're at 3 no's from the guest side, 1 no from the host side, and we'll see what the next 2 guests say here in the second hour. Coming up on the best moments of the Barbecue Central show in 10 minutes or less this coming Friday, episode 391 coming your way. June 18th, 2013 is when the show was picked from, and we are featuring the pitmaster of Sweet Smoke Q, Jim Elser. Believe it or not, this was Jim's debut appearance on the show back in June of 2013, and we talked about how we got into barbecue, then how we got into competition barbecue, specifically competing in Florida. We also talked about his experience doing different events sanctioned by different governing bodies. One thing is for certain, I can tell you this with 100% assurity, as Jim's competition career wore on, he became a winner in many different sanctioning bodies and also a winner in many different cooking events in general. I will go as far as to say perhaps one of the most underrated competition cooks of our time, our generation, is a Jim Elser of Sweet Smoke Q, by the way. Not only a prolific winner on the competition circuit, had a successful line of barbecue products, also made the Sweet Smoke Q cooker or the QSD or SSQ, whatever it was called. He made a drum smoker all on his own, and then, of course, got into the co-packing business down there in Florida as well. So not just a competition cook, but a varying portfolio of business ventures and cooking classes and all this stuff. Oh, by the way, did you know that Jim is a Buckeye as well originally? Yes. All the way out in, I believe, Ada, Ohio, which is upper far northwest in this great state. So a little fun fact there, Jim Elser is originally from Ohio, where most great barbecue people are from. So if you don't know Jim and you would like the real intro to him with the show, this is the one to get. Don't forget, you can click on the complete show link in the show notes and listen to the entire show, which, according to John Solberg, promises to be a great listen if you go back and listen to the whole show. Don't forget, you need to subscribe to the show podcast feed in order to get the Best Moments show, and that you can be done at thebbqcentralshow.com/subscribe. Also, if you want to hear a past guest or segment that you think's been lost in the archives, email John and let him know what you would like to hear. John, John at thebbqcentralshow.com, and he'll do his best to meet your expectation. Dennis from Colorado wrote in, Dear Greg, I can believe the quote for that outdoor kitchen Dave got. My deck and outdoor kitchen, along with all the equipment and furniture, was $100,000. Dennis, be still my heart. The deck, the outdoor kitchen, along with all the equipment and furniture, $100,000. Holy moly. And then there's this. Not barbecue related. I don't even know how I ran across it. And yet here we are in the top of the second hour. Fauja Singh. That's the name of this person. And if I'm saying it wrong, humble apologies. Fauja Singh, widely considered to be the world's oldest marathon runner, died at the age of 114 years old. And you're thinking, 114 years? Surprised that he made it that long. And under normal circumstances, I'm agreeing, yes, making it to 114 years old. Quite the age-reaching achievement. I mean, when you really stop to think about it, you break it down into dumb boilerplate math, which is what I have to do. He's 14 years older than 100 years old. How many people get to 100? How many people really get to 90? At 90 years old, he still had 24 more years to go. At 100, he still had 14 more years to go. Wow. So you're thinking to yourself, 114, incredible. Of course he's dead at 114. I would tend to agree. However, my guy, Fauja Singh, did not die.
Andrew,
He did not die of natural causes. No. Oh, no. Fauja Singh did not die of natural causes. Instead, he died when a car struck and killed him. He was hit crossing the road. He was then taken to the hospital where he succumbed to his severe head and body injuries. You know, a little more background on the world's oldest marathoner. Singh took up running at the ripe old age of 89. 89, he took up running. I'm 50, so that means at my age, I would now wait for 38 more years before I decided to take up running. At 89, he took up running at 89 as a way to deal with depression after his wife and son died in quick succession in India, his home country. The death of his son in 1994, by the way, I graduated high school in 1992, that's how long that was. The death of his son in 1994 took a particularly hard toll on Fauja Singh because of its grisly nature. Singh and his son, Kuldeep, both farmers, were checking on their fields in the middle of a storm when a piece of corrugated metal blown by the wind decapitated Kuldeep in front of his father's eyes. His wife preceded Kuldeep's beheading in her death, which was not mentioned. But his son was decapitated right in front of him. That led to, I guess, severe depression, and his kids had since immigrated to London. So he left India, moved to London for a hot minute, found a running club, and at 89 started marking off marathons. So just when you think getting to 114 years old means when you die, it's because you're 114. Not necessarily the case. In the case of Fauja Singh, you're 114 years old and you die because a car hit your ass. And who knows how long he could have been living or how many more marathons he could have been running if some asshole would have been watching where he was going instead of clipping the world's oldest marathoner. Again, picked up running at 89. All right. I mean, I thought for sure he was going to be out for a run and the car clipped him. But no, he was just hit crossing the street, dead. Son decapitated in front of him. Okay. Hey, Jess Pryles is in the green room, and before we get to her, we'll talk to you quickly about Big Papa Smokers. And I want to use this time, I guess, to re-cobble my words from last week. Because a number of you emailed and said, Big Papa's getting out of the rub business? No! I was trying to create some urgency, and I said, maybe he'll decide to get out of the rub business. Who knows? Rush over to the website and stock up now. My mom feverishly thumbing out a text message. Sterling's getting out of the rub business? No, I didn't say that. Then I got like a handful of other emails over the course of the week. Didn't know Big Papa was going out of business from the rub business. He's not. Go back and listen to my words. Don't listen to me. Hear me. I'm trying to create magic with these words. Sometimes it's a bit of a stumble. All rubs available, all sauces available, not going out of business, 100% in business. If you go to BigPapaSmokers.com, you will certainly see everything is there, everything is available, everything is still great. Okay? I apologize if you're not listening well. Know that it's just available. BigPapaSmokers.com. And we'll be back with Jess Pryles right after this. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. Welcome to a grand tale of craftsmanship and passion. A portfolio that offers you a symphony of flavors and an unforgettable Nicaraguan smoking experience. By the way, McAuliffe Purple should be hitting the deck soon, so if you want samples, I'll let you know when they come in, and I'll send you out a sample. Check out the latest color. Hey, leading off the second hour tonight is the CEO of the Hardcore Carnivore brand of products, also continuing to create mouthwatering recipes on her namesake website, JessPryles.com. Making her third quarterly appearance here in 2025. She's also a Barbecue Central Show's guest Hall of Famer and the potential co-host of a brand new lifestyle podcast entitled Hardcore Central, by golly. Let's go ahead and welcome back our pal Jess Pryles to the show. Jess, we do have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody.
Great.
Including all guests. Would you pay $100,000 or more for an outdoor kitchen setup that included everything?
No.
81% of the YouTube voting public aligning with you and me with a quick no on that. Although I got a number of emails over the course of the week saying, yeah, that's pretty much par for the course. So just shows how much of a complete cheapskate I am. Told Wes Wright in the first hour, $10,000 for me would be under heavy protest.
But you're talking, hang on. First of all, we're talking about people who are paying probably $500 for a single aluminum drawer. Yeah. You know, like this is where they're like, well, you're going to need this component and it's going to need this to fit into that. That's going to be another $500. Like, that's not really what it costs. You're just silly. I'm just going to say it. Also, you know, you're starting a lot of stuff here with telling people about the Hardcore Central, by golly, because you just went through this with Big Papa Smokers and now you're out here putting out more fake news. And what are you going to do?
In my defense, I said potential co-host, which
there's
means
definitely
nothing is
still
happening.
A potential. There's, I guess I just don't like the name, but I've always said that you and I should have a podcast.
If it's going to be, if there's going to be another podcast, it's going to be you and me.
And all we're going to do is complain about people. And that's very watchable.
That's what we call lifestyle podcast. It's, it's wordsmithing
I just don't like the
for
by golly
complaining.
at the end. Sounds British.
Look, I'll take the words. At least you're not attacking my choice of garment this evening like you have the last 6 months. So I'll take the wins where I can get them.
I was wondering while I was in the green room what shade you would describe that as. Is it cerulean?
This is blue.
What shade of blue is it, Greg?
Sky blue. Water blue?
Is it?
I don't know. It said blue on my tri blend, whatever the hell I got it from.
Oh, it's a tri blend.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got tri blend money, people. Right. Watch out.
Watch out. Are you a black coffee drinker?
Yep. Can you see it from my teeth?
Did you have to wade into the black coffee drinking, or was that like right from the rip?
No, I had to get there, and I I also drink. Me and my husband drink chicory coffee, which is extra bitter, black. So I don't know. No, yeah, I probably had to work up to it, But yeah, it's my preferred method of delivery of caffeine.
All right, so I apologize here. Thought I was all on my game as I was getting ready to show you this video, and now I have to quickly add this to my.
Do you want me to fill?
No.
I can still talk about colors of blue. You know I can do this, right? Just put me in, Coach. I'm ready.
Yeah. No. I think we can do. I have to see. Okay, no. All right. So now I got to go a whole different way. All right. So stand by. I want to play. So I wanted to have not like let's call it a deep dive of MSG. You know what? Look, I fucked this whole thing up. Idiot. I can't pipe the sound in from my tower because it'll screw up the whole recording software thing. And
can we still talk about it? Like, can you tell me what the video was about, or is it a moot point?
So the video sounds like somebody that could be a fellow old-time nativer or New Zealand, one or the other. And he goes on a whole thing of, hey, MSG, what's everybody losing their lid over? I did some research, and here's what I found. It's called Chinese restaurant syndrome, and you read it was kind of racially motivated and trying to separate Asians during the war, blah, blah, blah. I'm maybe getting some things wrong here, but it said, hey, like, get a hold of yourself. It's not even a real thing that you're even worried about. And, oh, by the way, if you like this video, give me a follow for some more facts later on in life. So I said, so I got a message from Lance Owens, a realtor to the Barbecue Stars in Hawaii, and he said, I hear so much positive. I hear so much negative. What the F? And I said, well, great news. Jess Pryles is going to be on tonight. She's a meat scientist and a food nerd, and let's ask her what she knows about MSG and if we should be scared or part of scared or not even scared at all.
That's a great question. Can't wait to make a lot of people angry with my response.
Great.
So, yeah, here's the deal. So it is generally widely considered that MSG became demonized as part of a inadvertently racist campaign, which is the whole Chinese restaurant syndrome. So when there was a lot of Asiaphobia, the idea was they're different, they're scary, they're putting something in the food. They've been using MSG, obviously, in Asia for a very long time. Oftentimes in Chinese restaurants in China, they'll just have, salt and MSG on the table so you can add it yourself. And so it sort of became demonized that way. Now, there are people who swear that they have an allergic reaction to it, that they get sort of itches or headaches or something like that. MSG is the sodium version of a naturally derived glutamate, which is the umami flavor that's found in a lot of foods and vegetables. High glutamate foods include tomatoes, mushrooms. The highest source that we have naturally is seaweed. There is no evidence, there is no scientific evidence to support that an MSG allergy exists. They have never been able to recreate it. All allergies come from a protein, and it is a form of protein. Or it has that protein strain in it, but they've never been able to recreate it. And so it without trying to discount those people who swear something happens to them, the problem is that we don't have any data on it because no one can prove that it exists. And it doesn't mean that you're making it up. It just means that we can't prove that you're telling us the truth. So on paper, there is no MSG allergen. If I could, I would put it in every single one of my rubs. But the problem is it's too hard to educate people on the fact that it's not actually an issue. And actually, fun story, may I?
Yes.
I know you're dying to say something. Go for it.
Please indulge me.
So I learned something this week in research for my second cookbook, which is coming to a shelf near you in October 2026. The industry, the meat industry, particularly the poultry industry, has to cook chicken to 180 degrees in order to make sure that the marrow turns from red to white so that it doesn't leach out of the bones into the meat around it and hear me out. I know you've got that face. You know that whole thing where people eat the chicken with the bone and then they get close to the bone and it's still kind of pink and they're like, oh, this hasn't been cooked, even though it actually has. So they, as a protocol for industry-wide, that means when they're training restaurants, when you're, for food for stadiums, huge food service stuff, they are cooking chicken to 180 degrees just because if they do cook it safely but not past the point of pinking, the public is going to be too horrified and too scared by the pink color, so they have to overcook it. Like that. What I'm trying to say is, it is harder to educate the public than it is to present them with scientific data. So instead, they just change their entire methods to suit this craziness. Crazy.
In your instance, you say, I would love to put MSG in all my rubs. So do it. Just don't list it.
When we started, when Hardcore Carnivore started in 2015, and the very first rub, which was black, said no MSG on it, and still does, because none of them do have MSG in, because that was a feature that people looked for at the time. And it's only in recent years that we've started saying, like, actually, this isn't a problem. It's freaking delicious. But the curve is too great. The damage has already been done. You're committing some kind of shelf style suicide if you have a seasoning company. Especially if you've already disclaimed that you don't have it. It's just really, really important to people that still, I think, en masse. Maybe like not our cool little barbecue community.
I feel like that is a tide we could turn. We can't turn the tide on washing meat. We can't turn the tide on a lot of these other things. Like what you see, it's myoglobin, it's not blood. That's a hard ship to turn. But I feel like MSG we can turn.
Let me ask you a question, Greg.
Go ahead.
Is MSG your new horse meat?
No, but I use MSG all the time. There's that stuff called Accent, and it just sits out on the table, and people just use it.
I just
all along.
I just buy straight MSG.
Yeah.
from the Asian grocery store. It's amazing.
Nobody complains. Nobody says they got a headache. The other question I wanted to ask, and it's just your speculation, for the folks that say they are having these reactions, although science is saying they're full of bullshit, do you think that they are convincing themselves and then like placebo effect, if you will?
No, and science is not saying it's bullshit. Science is saying that they can't recreate it. So I think there's a good chance that there is some sensitivity out there. It's just so erratic and dependent that it's impossible to recreate. So I think in some cases it might be psychosomatic, that maybe not all, but in some cases it's entirely possible that, people know that they've eaten out at a Chinese restaurant. Maybe they're not feeling so hot. Maybe they were hungover from the night before and they're blaming MSG. Who knows? People are weird. You know that.
What's Tastemade?
Oh, Tastemade is the new network that's picked up Hardcore Carnivore and is airing all of the episodes and is much more, has a much bigger reach, I guess you would say, than the Outdoor Channel. So
it's a TV network?
It is, yeah. Oh. It's on Google TV, YouTube TV.
Is it on
a whole
Hulu
bunch
Live?
of different streaming platforms. I think so. I don't know.
Yes, finally. Now I can watch
it. It is?
I don't know. You just said
maybe,
it is.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. If you go to, if you can ask ChatGPT, it'll tell you.
Yeah. I use
It tells you a lot of things.
Gemini. Gemini's my favorite.
You can ask Gemini. Gemini will tell you. Gemini knows things.
Gemini does not remember my name from day to day. I have to tell it every day, this is my name. It's annoying.
are you looking for a friend or what's happening there?
I say, Gemini, call me Meat Man from now on. And he says, okay, Meat Man. And then the next day I say, hey, Gemini, what's my name? He's like, I don't know. What do you want me to call you? I'm like, you dumb mother effer. I told you yesterday. Call me Meat Man.
Is Gemini a guy?
In my version of Gemini, yes.
It's a man.
He's a man, baby.
He's a man, baby. Ooh, did I just figure out how to make my volume go up? Is that better?
I think you're just closer.
Maybe I can just hear Maybe we can just hit. No, I just figured out. I just figured out technology.
You probably added volume to your ears.
Correct. That's what's happening right now. Yeah.
The New Heights podcast mentioned you in a recent episode. I am, of course, Best Pallies with J&T, Cleveland Kids, no Cleveland Kids, of course. Do you notice an appreciable increase in web traffic and or follows on social post shout out?
I don't know, because the problem is that when you turn on auto caption, it spells it like Priles or prize or something like that. So if you don't know who I am, you don't know how to spell my name, and Google doesn't guess it for you. I don't think it definitely let in. But that was so nice of them. I ended up cooking for Jason at a Kingsford gig as part of his Kingsford sponsored his charity golf tournament. And they had me go out to cook for it. And, you know, and he gave me this incredible shout out. My favorite part though was when he's like, Jess Pryles was there. And then Travis goes, yeah, J Pryles. And I'm like, do you know me? It's freaking cool. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, does he think I'm a guy? Yeah, hey, J Pryles.
No, I'm sure his brother told him all about it.
Yeah, that's for sure. They for sure had a long, detailed conversation about it.
So does Jason Kelsey
Jason's
now,
super cool.
Does he text you for cooking tips?
Kind of.
Is it annoying?
I've
be honest.
met him a couple of times now. I'll say this. I've met him a couple of times now, and he is one of the nicest celebrities out there. He always comes over and says hello. He's warm, he's genuine, and I think that says a lot about him as a person.
You want to play a game?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want me to tell everyone what the game is, or are you going to do that?
Hold on. Got to get my stuff here. Because everybody knows now it's time to play Betwixt the Two, which, of course, is the game show sweeping the nation, where I will ask our guest, Jess Pryles, betwixt the two, which one is the better song? And then she's got to guess the right answer. But before we play that game, we'll have to learn a little bit about our contestant, Jess Pryles. Jess, tell us a little bit about yourself here this evening.
Oh, hi there. Hi, Greg. Thank you. So nice to be here. I'm Jess. I have a company called Hardcore Carnivore, originally from Australia. I post a lot of great videos online. Come follow me. And
all right.
And I was mentioned on the New Heights podcast.
Yes, that's right. And now we'll play the game.
Yeah.
All right, Jess, you know how the game is played. Betwixt the two, which is the better Winger song? Off their 1988 self-titled album, Winger, Headed for a Heartbreak? Oh! Off the same 1988 self-titled album, Winger, 17. Which is the better song? Betwixt the two. Headed for a Heartbreak or 17?
I know you warned me that it was going to be a little domestic. We're going to have a few more pre-production meetings about this, because you've tangented. Okay.
This is hair metal,
I don't
by
think
the
I
way.
could. No.
Yes.
I don't think I could tell you a single Winger song. I'd rather you do an
just
Alabama
told you
version
to.
of this. The second one was 17.
Yes.
What was the first one?
Headed for a Heartbreak. Do you not know that song?
I mean, they're connected. I don't know. I don't think so. Chris, do I know that song? He'll tell me later.
Does he even know?
He's listening.
What you're? Oh.
I don't know. I mean, he watches. He watches all the time, Greg. Come on.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say I'm going to say Headed for Heartbreak because you were like, don't you know that song?
Well, I mean, like, these are their two most popular songs, so I assume, no? All right, I'll allow you a few more moments to have a little self-discussion. Headed for a Heartbreak or 17?
Is this me talking to myself? I'm headed for a heartbreak.
Oh,
Headed for just lock it in.
Lock it in.
I'm flying blind here. Just lock it in. Just let's land this
Betwixt
plane.
the two, which is the better winger song, Headed for a Heartbreak or 17? And Jess Pryles answered Headed for a Heartbreak. And of course, we all know that is so wrong. It's 17. What the fuck? I mean, a song's merit lies on its ability to not only walk the tightrope, but fall right over, but fall right over the cliff of sexual inappropriateness and potential pedophilia with 17, of course.
The
Yes.
barely legal thing. Of
Yes.
course. That's so Rempy coded. How
Yes,
did I not get
that's
that?
right. The only song that's better than that is the Benny Mardones song Into the Night, where the opening lyrics are, she's just 16 years old. And we can't ever talk about that. So unfortunately, we didn't get this one right. That means we are off of the almost win streak, because this would have been 2 in a row. And of course, we know 2 wins makes a streak. But we are on the schneid once again.
I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed. And I think what's going to have to happen is that I'm going to have to start taking charge of this again and betwixt you with the question.
Right. Well, if that's the case, I could be in line for a win streak, because last time I won it.
You did. You got the
So
Bon Jovi one correct.
2 makes the streak. So we'll talk about it off air. We'll figure it out here.
Okay.
And then in 3 months' time, we'll reconvene. We'll talk about live fire nonsense and end with a game.
I think we should do a holiday edition next time.
Holiday edition. All right. Let's take notes and we'll work something out.
Okay. Hey,
Always appreciate
nice
the time.
to see ya.
All right. There she is.
Yeah.
Jess Pryles right there. HardcoreCarnivore.com for accoutrement and rubs and sauce and all that fun stuff. Or if you're in the market for recipes, that's what it is. JessPryles.com is the place to go for that. Oh, can I stop that? Oh, no.
Full racks, legs and thighs.
All right. Wow. How do I restart that? Take that up. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Good. Figured it out. Hey, we have a Matty Rempe in the green room. And before we get to her, we'll talk to you about Green Mountain Grills. Did you know for over 17 years, Green Mountain Grill has brought the smoke to the competition scene and backyards all over the world? Their Venturi-style firebox delivers the cleanest 150-degree smoke in the pellet game. The new redesign, the 2025 Prime 2.0 grill, blends the technology of the past with the technology of the future. Green Mountain Grill is the original innovator in all things Wi-Fi, continues to give the user granular options to control your grill in any environment from anywhere. Green Mountain Grill also leading the pack for accessory creation, from their pizza attachment that delivers pizzas in 2 minutes or less, to their rotisserie, to the add-on side burners. Check out the new 2.0 Green Mountain Grill at greenmountaingrills.com. That's greenmountaingrills.com. We are back with the latest white coat. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Whole packers, full racks, legs and thighs, injecting butts. If you've never heard this before, you might think you found the best XXX show ever. Let's get back to the most homoerotic host out there today, Greg Rempe.
Yeah, we thank Jess Pryles for joining us last segment. Her websites again, JessPryles.com for recipes, HardcoreCarnivore.com for all of her products and gear and books and all that fun stuff. Coming out of the bullpen tonight, somebody who I've known for the past 22 years. She is also a collegiate student. She is also a graduate of Kent State University, a high school graduate of Wycliffe High School in Wycliffe, Ohio, home of Mayor Joe Sakis, who pays me every time I mention his name, and currently the latest of white coat recipients out of the great University of Mount Union University of Alliance, Ohio. We are welcoming in my daughter, Maddie Rempe, as I punch you up. Hey, Maddie!
Hello.
Hey, all right, now, let me get a volume going here on you. Can you give me a quick weather report? And then we're off and running.
It's hot and it's humid, and it's been that way for weeks.
All right, so welcome into Maddie. Here she is. So as I had mentioned in the open of the show and then just in this quick intro, the latest recipient of a white coat. So for those that don't know, give us a little school background post-Kent. What are you up to?
I'm currently a second-year physician assistant student at the University of Mount Union, and next week I'll finish up it's called didactic year, which is just basically my year in the classroom, and on August 6th, I start clinical rotations for the next year. Year-ish.
Year-ish more or year-ish less?
Rotations are 10 to 11 months. I have 10 rotations, and they're 4 weeks long. But I technically don't graduate the program until August of next year.
So in a year from now, you're going to be strolling down the aisle, getting that degree, I mean.
Well, technically I do that in May, but then I still have 2 more months of school afterwards, so I don't like that they do that. But
they'll graduate you before you're graduated?
Yep.
Wow. What happens if
Graduate.
the other two, what happens if you bomb the other 2 things? Then you don't graduate? They rescind your graduation?
I think so.
Oh, dear. Does that ever happen?
I don't know. I hope I don't
Probably
find
not.
out.
I mean, all you people are pretty smart to get into this program anyway.
Yeah.
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 All right, so first year's over. Your didactics are done.
Yep.
As you take a look back on it, harder or easier or met expectation?
The first semester, so last summer one class specifically was harder than I was expecting, but everything else was fine. Fall semester I knew it was going to be harder just because the types of classes I was taking was changing, but it was about as hard as I thought it was going to be. And then spring semester was way harder than I thought it was going to be. That was actually the worst semester of my life ever. And this semester I feel like I've barely been in school.
Why?
So it's kind of just because compared to last semester, there's not a lot of assignments. I've had maybe 4 or 5 exams this semester, not even, I don't think, compared to last semester where we had 30 at least. So just a big change from last semester to this semester.
Is it a relief knowing you've gotten through this part of it and now you're going to be going into the field where you can start really, observing about, well, I don't know. So what is a clinical rotation entail? Are you just shadowing? Or are you really going to be in there sticking your fingers in wounds and dipping goop out of eyeballs and things like this?
Yes.
Yes.
I will be doing, I won't be seeing patients on my own because I'm a student.
Yeah.
And that's illegal.
Right.
So I won't be treating them or diagnosing them, but I'll go in. So my first rotation is in the emergency room. Yikes. And so from what I've heard is I'll either round on the patients for my preceptor. So take a history physical, why they're there, all that stuff, and then report back to my preceptor. And then they could ask me, how do you think you would treat this? What do you think is going on? But if somebody needed sutures, I can do that. If somebody needed it's pretty hands-on.
Hmm.
Like when I do my dermatology rotations, I can do biopsies, sutures, incision and drainage of abscesses and fun stuff. But
do you get to do Botox?
No.
And you're derm? Why?
You need training for that. That's like a specialty training.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're going to do emergency room first. Is it all laid out, or is it like the first 5 or 6 rotations, and then, the other 4 will come later?
I know all my rotations.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hit us.
So I have emergency medicine up first.
Yes?
And then I have women's health.
Where do you go for that? Isn't that just like a normal thing, women's health?
Well, they try to get you with an OB/GYN, but I'm just with a gynecologist, so I won't see any babies.
You're just with an OB?
No, I'm with a gyne.
You're with a gyne?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And then I have general surgery,
Ooh.
which from what I've heard is my specific rotation is mostly ortho surgeries, and they have to send me to another hospital to see general surgeries.
Huh?
Then I have a dermatology rotation.
Yep.
And then in January, I have family medicine.
Yes.
And I have pediatrics. And then I want to say...
Sounds like you got
have after
4
that?
more, maybe?
internal med.
Ooh.
So that gets us to March. April is when I have my now ortho rotation, which was not supposed to be ortho.
Uh-huh.
And then I have my another dermatology rotation in May, and then my last rotation is behavioral medicine or psych.
Yeah, like science of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
So which one are you looking forward to the most?
Derm.
Outside of derm, which one are you looking forward to the most?
Women's health.
Yeah?
And peds.
Peds, yeah. You're good with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would think I would like that a lot.
So let's fast forward a year. You get through the whole clinical rounding. You've picked a bunch of different favorites.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go into dermatology field. So let's say you get hired there, whatever. You still got to take a test.
Yes.
In order to be a full PA, fully licensed PA, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. It's called the PANCE.
The pants, like what you wear to work.
PANCE.
Ah, pants, right.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is pants?
Hard.
Yeah.
I actually, on Friday, we're taking something at school called the Pack Rat, and it's like a practice pants.
It's like the ACT, the pre-ACT. Is that what they?
Yeah, you
they
think of
call
it like that.
Pre-ACT.
I don't know.
PSAT. That's what it was.
Yeah.
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 PSAT.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like that. So we take 2 of those. We take one now before clinicals, and then I think we take another one either around this time next year or halfway through clinicals. I think it's this time next year. Mm-hmm. But they tell us not to study for it and just see where
so you get a baseline.
We're at, and then we get grouped into you're not going to pass the pants. Like right now, if I took it right now, you wouldn't pass, you're at risk for failing, or you're okay. So
when is that?
I take it on Friday, and it's 3 hours and 45 minutes long.
Oh, wow. That's going to be great.
Yep.
And is it a written test, or is it all done on computer?
It's all on the computer. Just going to give me a headache. But they're really long, like clinical vignettes, like patient presents.
Oh, yeah.
They have this. And then they always include a bunch of extra details that
don't apply,
aren't relevant to the question.
Trying to throw you off.
I always, and I don't recommend this, I just go right to the very last sentence because that's what I need to answer.
Yeah, right.
So then I can go back and just highlight what I need to know.
Mm-hmm. Is that a learning technique that you've surmised on your own, or is that something they teach you in the class?
They don't really tell you to do that. You just kind of figure it out as you get used to the taking exams in the program, because one of my classes kind of asks questions in that way where they'll just give you a ton of information that you don't need. And on the pants and on the Pack Rat, you only get a minute per question, So, and they're really long questions. So if you you could spend a minute just reading it. But I take my test really fast.
Because we're smart.
No, I just rush.
All right. Out of the whole entire class, who's the smartest one in the group?
Me.
Yes. Of course.
Not really.
Out of the entire class, who's your best friend?
Me.
Oh. Who's your best friend?
Is there an answer?
I don't know. You go to school with them. Who's your best friend in school? No best friend. All right, well, moving on.
I have friends, but
no best
they're
friend.
school friends.
Yeah. Oh, they're alliance acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my group, but they all live over an hour away.
What did you think about the white coat ceremony?
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yep. There was a bit of confusion.
Oh.
At the beginning, because the way we rehearsed it was not the way that it actually happened, and then there was a bunch of extra speakers that we didn't know were coming.
You didn't know the Navy guys were coming?
No, we knew they were coming, but the few people that talked in the beginning, there was
The Dr. Girl?
Dr. Boatwright.
Yeah.
He wasn't
Dr.
supposed to
Boatwright.
be there, and then there was the Reverend. They never said anything about him coming. And
Well,
then
he just gave a blessing. He didn't talk.
Yeah,
30
but
seconds.
these people kept coming up, and everybody was sitting around me, and they were like, "Who is this guy? Why are they here? Why are they talking?" The short girl that was talking,
The keynote speaker?
yeah, she's one of my teachers, except she teaches us online, and we've seen her in person once.
Oh, now twice.
Yeah, no, twice.
Very short.
Very.
But a doctor.
Dr. Adler, yep.
Yeah, Dr. Adler. Yes, so she must be pretty smart. She's gone from PA to doctor. Could you be a doctor?
Well, she's not a medical doctor. She got her doctorate.
Oh.
Difference.
Yeah.
Difference.
Dr. Adler, like Dr. Barbecue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's
Difference.
probably more of a doctor.
Big difference.
Yeah.
Medical doctor and having your doctorate are not the same.
Yeah. All right. So what else are you looking forward to here in the next couple weeks for school?
I am excited to start rotations.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm just a bit nervous because it's in the emergency room, and I kind of already know that that's not really my speed. So that being my first rotation is kind of
Right into the fire.
scary.
Yeah.
But
which
I think it
hospital
will.
is it at?
They told me it was at UH main campus, but I'm actually in Westlake majority of the time.
Oh. So you just
So-
get to see a bunch of rich people come in with knives in their hands.
Yeah.
Well, it won't be too bad. You could talk to your sister and get prepped up for what you might see.
Yeah, I think, well, she sees people get blown up.
Yeah.
So I hopefully won't be seeing that. That they would go to Metro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I would not want to be at Metro. That's the last place I would want to go.
Yeah, that's the one.
But I think having that as my first rotation would be beneficial just because I see so many different things. But I'm looking forward to that. And I've also just heard that life gets better once you're on clinical rotations because it's not I still have work to do. We have to buy this question bank program, and it's homework questions, $200 something, but it's nicer because I know for this upcoming rotation I work 3 12-hour shifts a week. So then I'll have days off and I don't really have to worry about studying as much because right now I wake up, I go to school, I come home, I go to the gym if I can.
Stand by. Sorry about that.
And then I study and then I go to bed and I do it all again and I feel like a robot most of the time.
So maybe a job?
Maybe a job?
Part-time job. You're only working 3 days a week. You got 4 days a week you can work.
Yeah, but if they're 12-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And I have to come home each day and chart every single patient I saw.
But you don't work on those 3 days. You work on the other 4 days.
Like those other 4 days, I'm going to be doing the homework that I have to do and charting all the patients I have to see.
Oh, charting. All right.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't see that. That's against HIPAA law.
I have thought about getting a bartending job somewhere.
Yeah. All right.
But I don't know. We'll have to see.
Anything else before I let you go tonight?
Thanks for having me on.
On behalf of the Centralites, we say congratulations on getting the white coat, getting through didaction, and going into clinicianal work here.
Thank you.
So good luck with that, and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Okay.
There she is, Maddie, right there. Ready to take on all comers in the emergency room. So if you're going to be in Westlake and you want to hurt yourself and you're hoping to have Maddie give her best opinion, although she probably won't be treating you fully, then she's the one. That's the emergency room you want to go see. All right? What's fair is fair. There you go. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here all the way back in the first hour. We talked with Len Aberman and Jeff Cohen of the Baseball and BBQ podcast. And then after that, we talked with Wes Wright from cookoutnews.com. Second hour, we let it off with Jess Pryles from hardcorecarnivore.com and jesspryles.com. And we just ended it with my middle daughter, Maddie Rempe, who is a white coat recipient at the Mount Union Physician's Assistance Program at the University of Mount Union. Mount Union University? University of Mount Union. It's one of those. Clinicals start here in just a few short weeks. So looking forward to seeing how that part of life transpires after watching her almost go crazy doing the book study. But hey, better than being a traditional medical doctor with that schooling, right? Good job. Good choice. Big show planned for you next week. It's week 4 already. You know what that means. In the second hour, we have the embedded correspondence already. And then a bonus Tuesday in July, if you can believe it. So how do I always leave you? September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. And until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, this is your program host and proud U.S. American Greg Rempe saying, Shalom!
This is Dion Blumenrader with Big Hoss One Sauce, and you're listening to the best show on all things barbecue with my man, Greg Rempe.